to stop being a match to demons, attachments, entities, these things that people call as negative, that are in our energy, we have to change our vibration because we are a match to them, because we are a match to that frequency. In this video, I will teach you how you can do that. And to do that, it's very helpful to understand where they come from. But what is this that people call demons and attachments and these scary things? So come with me and let's demystify this. I have here my board. I already started with something. And I will take you to space for you to understand this. So when we have some dust in space, it's just dust, right? And then as they come together and they start to form more agglomerated masses, they start to get bigger. And then the point that they get so big that they can become a meteor, a comet, or something, even a planet, right? And then at this point here, we already have some, this doesn't want, some traction. I will call the nucleus. We have some traction here, and they generate a gravitational force around them, which means that if something like this, smaller and smaller, that it's in the surroundings, comes around, it will start to gravitate around this center, right? Now, think of this as thoughts. We have isolated thoughts, and because anything in the universe, it's energy, I dispense. Everything in the universe is energy. Everything has a frequency and has a vibration and has a specific length. So what happens is, if this vibrational is matching with this, it will be attracted to it and it will grow bigger, and then comes another and it grows bigger, to the point that this starts to have, like, let's call it a life of itself, meaning it has a gravitational force that is so strong that it exists independently, okay? So this that we call demons and attachments and things like that, they were actually created by the human consciousness. We, because we started to have patterns of fear, emotions like fear, shame, everything that it's low vibration, despair, guilt, we start to create like agglomerates of this type of thoughts and energies, okay? And because they don't exist in the 3D world, they just exist in energetical level, they live in a plane of reality that is the fourth density. So we have dimensions in the universe and we have densities, okay? Densities is when there is a condensation of energies in a specific dimension. So the 4D is the one that it's closer to the 3D before we go to the full 4-dimension and then the 5th dimension. In the 4th dimension already doesn't exist time and space. We just perceive this in the 3rd reality, and it's materialized, okay? All this to understand what? That these attachments, these demons that we think that, they come after us and they are alive entities, they have horns and they are scary and things like that. In reality, it's not quite like that. It was our imagination that needed to give them form to the energies that we were perceiving. So we see them as scary because what we feel when we see them, it's that it's fear, it's agony, it's despair, okay? And you say, but how this happened? Why? Where did this start? If you are interested, I will just say a little bit, because if you are like me and you have a neurodivergent brain and you need to understand everything before, put something into action, I'm like that. If you're in my channel, you are also matched to this. So let's understand it. It started when we start to disown our pain as humans, because we enter an age of darkness. Darkness means where there is no light. When there is no light is where there is no awareness. So we started to disown our own emotions and to push them away. And then they start to gain this momentum of being in the dark, okay, and being passed through generation to another generation to another generation. And this grew so bigger that the gravitational forces of these entities, of this agglomeration of thoughts, were so big that they just exist in this fourth density that I was talking about. And then we can tap into it. And through our experience, socialization, trauma, and so on, we create these imprints in our life, in our body. And therefore, we start to become a match to these entities as well, and to these energies. Okay, what happens, and for this I need to go into a personal story. What happens is, the first time that I met a part of me that was in deep, deep pain, her name is Vanessa. I met her at my mom's house. Of course, I was diving into a memory, okay? And this was the big awakening of my abilities, because I started to interact with my parts, with my fragments in my 3D, my third eye, the eye of the mind, okay? And she came to me, I was scared, because she was walking in her 4 legs. The hair was like, do you know, like the Rings girl, like the movie, like super scared. Her eyes were red, and she was super skinny, old clothes, super dirty, like, and mostly bones, and in this defensive, aggressive energy. And when I saw that, I didn't identify it as mine, as a part of my consciousness. I just like, what is it? And then I dropped and left the memory. And then I was guided to see that it's a part of me who is in deep, deep pain. And because of the frequency that she carries, because it was her pain, her story, her awareness was just about this, about solid, being alone, being in pain, being hurt, being all the abuse that she endured. And then I fragmented and put it aside. It created this imprint. So it's like the materialization, the expression of the energy she was carrying. It's her appearance. It was her appearance. You understand? It's like it's the imprint. So in this dynamic, I was like, okay. So first, it was in the corridor. So I just stand aside, and Sara, I was scared. So basically, I was scared of a part of myself who was in pain, in resume, right? So I slowly took time for me to sit without trying to approach and without going away. Just sit with that energy. And she started to interact with me also energetically. Then at some point I presented myself. I will go forward a bit with this. Then at some point we could just sit, and I talk with her without saying anything besides, I'm so sorry. I imagine I'm being told that you look like this and you feel like this because you went through a lot of pain, and I disown that pain, and you are carrying this alone. So I'm sorry. So I shared a lot of empathy. And the progression went to the point that at some point she put her head on my shoulder and cried, and we connected, and she told me her story and so on. And what I want to say this is, from the first image to the last image, her appearance started to change, because she started to release the pain. She started to own her own emotions. She felt seen, heard, validated, rescued, all the things that connecting with me, like me owning my own pain, right, had the impact on her. So her appearance, her vibration changed, her appearance changed as well. And this all to say what? That's why people paint and describe and say all these demons with these figures, super scary, because it's something that we don't understand. And the imprint of those energies, they are scary to us. They are unknown. We don't have the knowledge. We don't have the understanding. So with time and more abuse and more, stories, and then many things that happen in the human history due to the lack of understanding and ignorance, led to create these monsters, these figures that are super scary. But this is what they are, okay? So how we stop to be a match to it is by changing our vibration. I just gave a little example in our connection, right, in me with Vanessa. But in your case, if you have emotions of fear, of all the emotions that I just mentioned, you do the same and you process them. The way to process them, you can find videos on my channel about that. If it is trauma related with PTSD, you can look for fight and flight or fawn or freeze. If it is trauma related with emotional pain, I have also videos for do that. Or to change beliefs, okay? I will not explain in this video, but I'm just naming it so you know what you look for. I also have poetry in the middle, so you're actually in my channel, you actually need to search. So you will process the memory, You will release the emotions. You will integrate these own parts of you. And once you bring them to your core self, they will take on the frequency and the vibration of your core self. And by doing so, if you have something, I will explain. Hello, it's Mary. I love to explain things, by the way. I'm so happy that I'm doing this. So, let's do this. This is my helper. This is the best thing that I have to clean. So what happens is, we have a person, right? And we have an auric field. And in an auric field, we have imprints. And these imprints have vibrations. And then we have these thoughts that are in the 4th dimension, and then they are there, and they gravitate, and they come to us. So they attach. Make us a vibrational match to them, and then we perceive them. Our subconscious mind perceive them. We may have nightmares. We may have experiences in life that are just reflecting back what this gravitational force is attracting, because if we have it and then we attract, it grows bigger, and then if it grows bigger, it attracts more. If it attracts more, it grows bigger. If it grows bigger, you understand the loop, right? So we start to have lower vibration experience in life, like relationships, things that don't go well, just because we are attached to those energies. But we are attached to those energies because we carry them in our mind and emotional bodies and in our being. And it's easy to demystify this. So if I come here and I clean my point of attraction, I will not be a match to something that I don't have in my vibration. And this is how you do it. Now, what happens? I also will take the time to demystify this. People who say that they do this type of negative works, right? Spell work, witchcraft, and these things that we know goes in these dark areas. What happens is these people are gathering, mastering, manipulating through their own energies, these agglomerations of energies, and projecting onto people. So it's like, oh, now I have a demon attached to me because someone sent it. Yes, you can say that if you want. It's a way to put it. I will not invalidate it. But what happens in reality, no one has the power to do that to you. What happens in reality is you have something in your auric field that is being a match to that vibration. And if you have people in your surroundings, in your life, that are trying to target you with those energies, there is always something in you, in your experience, that makes you a match to that vibration, to that experience. So through the techniques that I told you, especially the one in this case with the beliefs, look for that. How to go to the root cause of your beliefs and change it. You will see that, okay, I create my own reality. My reality is based on beliefs. This belief system creates an imprint, and this frequency attracts whatever I'm experiencing. So I have control over my life. And if I have control over my life, others don't have. You see? Because that's the thing. People can just interfere with your mind and with your life to the part that you are not aware, because then they manipulate the parts of you that are in you that you are not taking responsibility for. Okay? So I think it is important to demystify this, to take out the fear out of this. If we don't take out the fear, first, it increases our experiences of not good experiences, right? And second, we cannot change it. So that's one thing. Sorry, I'm in this vibration today, so I don't know if you can hear the music, but it keeps me going. So in this context, I will also explain a bit what it's then heaven and hell. So if we believe in demons, we will believe in hell. And if we create a hell, we have created the opposite, right? We have created heaven. In reality, heaven and hell, they are dimensions inside of ourselves. We have a collective consciousness as humans that is representation of the totality of our individual consciousness. The old part that we are not aware, that it's our pain, our repressed trauma, our unconscious mind, they create the darkness. The part that we are aware, that we talk about it, that we operate from, it's our consciousness awareness that we call light. But darkness and light, they exist inside of us, all of us, and this exists in the collective, right? So the lower part of the awareness that we call dark, that we are not aware, we call it hell. And it's a hell, let's face it. I have been in my personal hell of despair, sadness, and all grief and feelings of betrayal and, all the things that I have mentioned, shame, guilt. So that's hell. And heaven is, oh my God, it's bliss, it's happiness, it's joy, it's love, it's everything that it's good. But these are representation, it's archetypal representations, like we have with demons and so on, of this collective energy. The collective energy, not just individually, but consciousness energy, not just individually, but collectively. So you can shift your life from hell to heaven by changing your vibration. You work on your beliefs and create the life that you desire. Of course, there are more things here to do that I cannot do everything in the same video, because my mind is already goes, okay, talk about manifestation, okay, talk about this, okay. No, this video about that, right? So, but I think it's relevant. People need to understand this. So if we associate demons and we have these beliefs, also it's more likely that we will experience negative things. So please empower yourself. We are in the 21st century, not in the 3rd century. Let's break these things down. We have enough science, we have enough awareness, we have enough spiritual and psychic people completely tapped into these energies and awareness and what is the perception of reality that we know that goes beyond just the physical. So empower ourselves. Let's empower ourselves by having information, utilize it and expand and grow, and let these old beliefs, this system of fear and ignorance die. And this just can happen in the collective if we do it individually. And then this cloud that we have in the 4th density, that it's so heavy, it starts to dissipate because I take my bit of it and say, okay, this part of sadness, I own it, I dissolve it, I alchemize it. Then this part of despair, this part of fear. And everyone doing this together, then we clean this up, because it was us who created in the first place. They don't exist out there. There is not a realm of the devil and the demons. It's just a part of the unconsciousness of the human collective mind. And that's it. Okay, that's my take for today. So if you need any assistance, you already know that you can contact me. I have more energies, work videos if you want to check it. And as always, be kind to yourself today. Bye.